What's going on? You guys there? Can you hear me all right? Come on now. What's going on? Check, check. Coming alive. All right, I think I'm alive. All right. What's up, guys? What's going on? Thanks for tuning in to this fine day. Fine day. Fine day. My leggy. My little broken. Something like. Actually, OBS is fine. Stream looks a little choppy. What in the hell is going on? Yeah, hopefully it'll smooth out in just a second here, Lou. Alrighty. I think I'm good to go. For the most part. I'm actually on Twitter too, I think. I don't know if that's working. And I don't know how the audio is because my phone is like a ways away. So, and I don't know how the chat's going to work on Twitter, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. The former bird, the former bluebird. What's that supposed to mean, Wayne? You know, I could always count on you guys for being like completely candid. I had some technical snafus, so I think my head's a little high in the frame, at least on my vertical. There, how about that? I should probably check my camera. I could probably pull it back a little bit, actually. Then I get a couple things on the borders. Probably drive people nuts. Anyways, so shout out to Roger being the first guy. First person. I need to stop saying guy. That's a habit of mine. Guy, dude. Not very courteous to everybody. Ryan, M. Catron, Lou, Laramie. Good morning, Laramie. Or evening, kind of, sort of, since Laramie, works a weird shift. Wayne. Tad, good to see you. Caverna. Eileen, good morning. All right. It's a good crowd, good turnout. Got some good stuff to talk about today, I think. I have a couple topics that I'm interested in hearing your guys' take on. I know, crazy, right? I don't know. Controversial topics. I don't know if they're controversial. They always spur conversation in the RPG hobby, right? At least one does for sure. So we'll see. When I get there, you will know. You will know. Let me. I think I forgot to add my browser, so just bear with me. Uno momento as I fix that as well. Because as soon as I bop over, I'm gonna go. Oh, I didn't add my browser. That's awesome. Good job, Sean. All right. So I'm actually trying to be ahead of the game. Actually, to reinstall a browser extension in 3 minutes. I can't believe I got it all to work. My troubleshooting foo has leveled up. I am now troubleshooting faster. I'm reducing the time it takes to resolve issues. That's my new feat. Quick troubleshooter. Having said that, and to Wayne's point, I'm definitely going to. Are you? Wayne, how is it coming across? Is it good audio? I don't even know. Hello, Wayne, are you there? That's right. Hit the like. Wayne's on top of it. Wayne, you are engaged this morning. Gotta like that. 5x5. Appreciate it. Well, I say that, Laramie, because Wayne's watching on X as well. So I think my camera is also tilted, although I can't really tell. It's so strange. Anyways, let me get to Wayne's point. Let me get my beverage of choice, if you will. Ugh, my diet, man, it just sucks. I'm terrible. I gotta like start being healthier, eating healthier. Putting too much garbage in this fine temple of a body. Yeah, the sweet, sweet sounds of a fresh vanilla Coke. All right. Um. So I have a question. The question of the day, if you will. If you'll, is it amuse me? If you will engage me, if you will entice me, if you will appease me. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. I'll put this out there. Ty Prunty, good to see you. Indulge me. Thank you, Lou. See, I need you guys to be around so badly because I cannot. Obviously, I can't do this alone. Um, if you will indulge me, Jesus, good thing the chat speaks better than I do. Morning, Orcus Dorcas. We got some people still trickling. Caverna. Good morning. Morning, Coke. Cold pizza from yesterday night. This is breakfast. my buddy Jeff. I've said this before. My buddy Jeff, who I've mentioned before, he's the guy I grew up gaming with, and who is just over the top at times. Growing up as teenagers. So you know how some schools, if you have kids, you can't wear certain clothes. Most of it is having to do with like hats, sometimes hats, probably related to quote unquote gang kind of things or whatever. Um, you know, I remember one guy going to a Van Halen concert. He was a senior and he showed up the next day with a Van Halen concert shirt that said Van Halen kicks ass, like in big letters across the back of his shirt. Teacher sent him home. Well, good to know, Wayne. Thanks. The other, so having said that, my buddy Jeff used to have this mustard, like dark mustard sweatshirt, like gray poupon mustard. It wasn't even an attractive color. Not that sweatshirts usually are, but it's just you don't see too many shirts of that color. And it would say Schlitz. So if you're not familiar with Schlitz, Schlitz is a beer, or was a beer. Actually, they still make Schlitz. Was a beer in popular way back in the 70s. Schlitz beer, yeah. And it was, and the Schlitz family was not, I mean, they were not poor. So at the height of the beer craze, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Schlitz, maybe Old Milwaukee, I don't know. But he used to have Schlitz, the Breakfast of Champions, was a T-shirt. We were 13. I don't know how he got it, where he got it. Schlitz, the Breakfast of Champions. And of course, Wheaties, right? It's a mashup of the Wheaties cereal, is the Breakfast of Champion. So, what's up, Mr. Hobbs? Good to see you. 1970s yellow. It was something. It was something. Schlitz, not a good beer. No, it's not. But if you're a hipster, like it's you know, as I like to say, I liked Pabst and Schlitz and Old Mill before they were popular. I don't even know if that is a claim to fame. Schlitz, the Breakfast of Champions. What 13, 14-year-old kid wears a beer shirt, like promoting drinking beer for breakfast? And he had that thing for years, I am only commenting because of Caverna's breakfast, apparently. So, Schlitz. Oh man. They used to have crappy beer night, and Schlitz was on the menu. It's fine for $1 a can. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? They say life's too short to drink cheap beer. I used to show up at Doc's place. So Doc, another gamer friend of mine, we would play at his house, and Doc was pretty good about stocking his fridge with stuff, with beer, and he had a few bottles around. And I would always show, and they were like kind of the IPA group a little bit, and they would always kind of get the one beer and talk about, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Right. And I would always, on my way from work to his house to game every other week or every week, I'd try to pick up like a sixer of something crazy off the shelf. So I remember, which is funny because Doc is a hams guy. He's a hams beer guy. And he is not snobby. Like, they're not, when they talk about beers, like, have you tried this? Have you tried that? It's really good. They're not snobby beer drinkers or connoisseurs. Because obviously Doc would have hams and he'd have natty light or natty ice. So Orcus Olympia is my hipster trash beer of choice. Growing up. So anyways, with Doc, I'd show up with different kinds of beers like Miller beer, as I would call it, the champagne of beers. Schlitz. God, what else? Pabst. Old Style. All the ones that have made Wisconsin what it used to be. Olympia is interesting, Orcus Dorcas, because as a young boy, probably even before I got into RPGs, I don't know how many of you are not my age. I am no young spring chicken. Just look at this. And I used to collect beer cans. And Olympia, for whatever reason, used to be one that I would always find where I grew up. Like, just find it on the ground, take it home, wash it off, and had, a wall full of beer cans. And Olympia was a big one. It was always like the one I always, if you're collecting beer cans, you wanted to find ones you didn't ever have. I remember some of those red, white, and blue. Olympia was a big one. And those were days when cans weren't made out of aluminum. So you got like, they're really squared off. And you had when you open it, you had the peel off tab, right? None of this flip tab where you like, the sodas brought that in, right? You like flip it and then flip it back. Like, no. And then you had the teardrop opening. Huh? Right? Am I right? Old farts? I could just see a comment now. I tuned in for RPGs and all this guy's talking about is like beer cans. I hope they make it this far to that comment. Hey, Jason, good to see you. Nubis, good afternoon. What was that accent, Eileen? La Champagne of beers? I don't know. I saw it in some movie, I think. Somebody referred to like Miller, the Champagne of beers. Late 80s was all Corona Extra and Spuds McKinney shirts. It's at school. Yeah, Spuds. My roommates were big Bud Light guys. I don't know what accent it was, Eileen, honestly. But that's what you get here. Like, that's when I roleplay. I got to find an accent that's my own. As to not offend somebody. Wayne Peacock, Carling was 0.5% higher alcohol. Sorry, let's see if I can read. Carling was 0.5% higher alcohol than other cheap beers. Just saying. Chris, good to see you. Gross, Miller, terrible. Come on. Miller says it on the bottle. Yes, bottle, you barbarians. I know, how uncouth, right? Then my wife had dated a guy much different than I, let me tell you. He was a little rougher around the edges. And she said he had a saying where if you couldn't if you couldn't see through the bottle, you couldn't trust the brewer. You know, and so if you're a Miller guy, it's clear bottles, right? Get the brown ones, you know, you never know what's in there. Rhinelander, oh God, home of the Hodag. Milwaukee's best, or the Beast, Tad, as we refer to it as. Zima, oh my God. I remember having Zima. I had a buddy of mine in the military, so I got out, and he was still in, and he was visiting home. He's from Minnesota, and he was driving through and stopped by, and he's like, Cal, you got to try this beer. I'm like, this stuff tastes like Sprite, man. Ice House, Zima, Bartles and James. What happened to those two jokers? Yuppie upscale alternatives. 80s were just terrible for food and beverage. Well, yeah. But we can look back and reminisce on some of those things and just say, well, you know, was it that bad? Maybe. But it doesn't, you know, prevent us from going back. Going into the one big, huge liquor store choice. Ah, there it is. Bartles and James. I should buy some Strawberry Passion. Or whatever. Red Dog. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Red Dog. Woof, woof. Ice House. Ice Beer. Oh, God. Yeah. Good times, good times. All right, all you jokers out there, do me a favor, give me a like if you would be so kind, or give me a thumbs down if you don't like the beer talk. I'm totally down with that. William, good morning. Since you're all here, I appreciate it, because I will forget. So I have a little sticky note like right here that says ask for like, beg. It says beg, plead, grovel for likes. Mickey's Big Mouths. Hello, Canada. Right? That's a Canadian beer. Mickey's. I think growing up, red, white, and blue we'd get was a big one. I don't know why. Genuine Draft started to become a big one when I was in the Army. But that's not really a good gauge of like indulging, because when you're like 20, 21 and in the military, what? Snake piss? Okay. 6 a.m. and I want a beer. I know, right? It's Saturday morning and I got a rock. I want a belly full of beer. That's right. You can even roll with advantage on the attack roll, too. Smash that like button. Thanks, Lou. Laramie says, I'm one of those snobby drinkers, and I remember how great it was. You found a bar with Guinness or Newcastle bottles, premium, or Stella, if you will, right? I don't think I've ever heard of Mickey's. Mickey's Big Mouth. They come in little shorties, round, kind of like barrel-looking bottles. Chris. It's malt beverage, malted beer. Fine Irish malt liquor. That's right. Just throw some Captain in that vanilla Coke. You know, I don't know. I was a big Captain and Coke guy. And I had friends with Captain and Coke. They are probably still Captain and Coke fans. And, you know, that was a staple for a long time for us. I don't know if I would put Captain in my vanilla Coke, only because Captain and regular Coke would make it sweet enough. It might be too much for me, but hey, whatever works for you. Hey, can't drive no all day if you don't start in the, what the hell emoji is that? In the morning, he says. And for all of you that are like not fans of alcohol for whatever reason, I apologize. Like, do not condone binge drinking. Drink responsibly. Remember, be 21. Respect all laws. Don't drink and drive. These have all been public service announcements from yours truly. Kraken is my preferred mixer rum. There's a guy I follow on Instagram that he refers to like beer as Kraken. He's from French Canada, French Quebec. He mumbles, and I don't even know if he's mumbling French or just mumbling in general. He's hilarious. I think it's like shitty food what is he? Not pretty food maker or something. I don't know. He's hilarious. I'll send it to you, Chris, if I can remember. He's just, you can't understand a single word he's saying. And he like, any dinosaur thing is a rar. So, and then when he makes food, he's like throwing stuff across the kitchen. It's all first person. He's just funny. I don't know. I find him quite amusing. Some of you may not. All right, let's get into some role-playing game stuff, okay? We've been going on for even longer than I anticipated. So I'm interested, and I don't know how you guys are going to like type this in or share some of your experiences, but I am interested in whether you have ever had any feedback from your players that have been strange, kind of off-center some way, that made you kind of scratch your head and go, huh? What? Like something, you've gotten first of all, have you ever had feedback? And what is the weirdest feedback you have had about your game, your campaign, your player character, if you don't GM, your setting, your style? Like, I'm interested to hear crazy feedback that you've received in the hobby. And maybe it's not weird. And maybe it's weird to you, but maybe not weird to others. Weird, I don't know if is the right word, but just like feedback that you kind of go, huh, like, oh, okay. Feedback, what a gift. Yeah. And maybe, and that's so I'm interested also. Like, I've never been given feedback. If you are that person, I'm also interested to know, like, this does not pertain to me because I've never had feedback before. Eileen says, what's feedback, precious? Yeah, right. So Eileen doesn't get a lot. It's one of my guesses. My feed is stuttering. It's my internet. What's the question? The question is, have you ever received feedback as being a game master or a player? And what is the silliest, strangest, unusual feedback you've ever received? Hey, could you take a shower before coming to the game, please? I don't even know if I can answer this question, honestly. I don't know if I have an answer. Like, I don't know. What is the strangest feedback you might have received as a player or a game master? Can you remember? Or you know what? Here's the deal. If you can't think of something weird or strange or unusual, just share some feedback somebody's given you before. Chris S. says, the game would have been great if we were playing D&D and not Pathfinder. It was a 4-hour Pathfinder Society game. Okay, that's a tough one. That's hilarious. Mr. Hobbs' Gamehood says, I don't like Cthulhu in my fantasy. Oh, interesting. So none of the Lovecraft in the fantasy space, even though it was in the deities and demigods in the back of the day, right? Hey, morning, Harrigan. Hey, it's all right. You can sleep in, buddy. It's okay. You're usually like very early. I think we can let you slide on one Saturday. But hey, do me a favor, dude. Hit the like button. You missed the call to arms. The question du jour for some of the folks that are just tuning in is, what is the most unusual feedback you've received as a player or a game master? Something that might have like, huh? And it doesn't have to be silly or kooky necessarily, just like something that made you kind of go, huh? oh, okay, right? We've had this would have been good if it would have been D&D and not Pathfinder, says Chris for a Pathfinder Society game. Hobbs says, I don't like Cthulhu in my fantasy. Caverna says, nothing comes to mind. So nothing comes to mind. Have you not gotten feedback or just unusual feedback, Caverna? Eileen says, I don't know. I always get general positive feedback. Maybe the best indication was last year at GameholeCon when the family came to the MCG party after my game when they hadn't planned to. Nonverbal, maybe? Well, maybe. I don't know how many people go to a table and go, oh, dude, this game master is hacking it all up. And then it's like, I'm going to go see him at a party. So maybe. Ryan West says, I had a player ask if he could just run a tavern. I replied, like you want the character to retire? No, he wanted the game, his character running a tavern. He wanted a game with his character running a tavern. That would be interesting, I guess. Roadhouse, the RPG. Mr. Hobbs, Hobbsy's gotten a lot of feedback, it looks like. Too many decisions in this hex crawl game. Too many decisions. Can you just put this thing back on the rails, Hobbs? Seriously. Wayne Peacock, the second worst feedback. That was fun. Oh, Mr. Hobbs says Edwin Nagy. You're calling out Edwin? Oh, man. Tad says, I hand-waved some inventory and currency stuff, and one of my players let me know that all the accounting is his favorite part. I brought it back and put him in charge of it. You never know, right? You never know with these players. Like, the worst thing we could think of in an RPG, some of us, and they're like, wait a minute. I love this part of gaming. Lou says, I had players ask that I not have enemies pull punches. I wasn't, but the dice were in their favor that night. Because you were rolling crappy, they thought you were pulling punches. Always roll in the open, I always think, in that case. Chris says, I wasn't a big Star Wars and Wishes guy for a long time, but it's become the best way I can get real feedback at my table. I agree. That's what I'm going to do with Jeff. I don't, back in the day with Jeff, I would, run a game and that was it. Whether they liked it or not. Now, it's kind of crucial. And I probably will do that more often than I need to. More often than I have been. But I'm not running any games right now. I didn't do that a lot with the last few games, even Impossible Landscapes. Because, you know what? Who cares? I will say this, Stars and Wishes during Impossible Landscapes would be tricky because I think as part of the game, they may say, well, I don't like how it keeps on going on and on and on and on in this one spot. And it might be kind of part of the deal, so it's kind of a weird juxtaposition, if you will. Orcus says, ran a game set in the UK. And after, several of the UK angrily informed me that a place I had set in the game, it wasn't a village, but a market town. The sheer disdain I received for not knowing that. Well, do your research, Orcus Dorcas. M. Catron says, I was given feedback from a visiting friend of a friend who we let join for one game. In the middle of a campaign that they were upset that other players got more time to shine. So they showed up for a one-shot because they were visiting, and all the other players got more time to shine. That was their feedback. Well, there you go. Had to spread the wealth there, M. Catron. That's just straight up hilarious, the Cthulhu in my fantasy. Nubis says, I need to ask for feedback more, the one that still bugs me. We'd like to get more equal spotlight time. You, the GM, must give it to me explicitly, but don't put me on the spot and not round robin. That is hilarious to me. That is, I wish I wish I had Nubis like on a video reading that like as a tweet. You guys ever seen mean tweets? Like celebrities read mean tweets? If you're not in America, I don't know, you might see this overseas or not, but Jimmy Kimmel, I think it's the Jimmy Kimmel show. And he'll have a segment on the show where a famous celebrity will read it. You can find them on YouTube. Some of them are pretty hilarious. And they're like just roasting these celebrities via Twitter, X, whatever. And I could just see Nubis reading that. Could you please give me more spotlight time? You need to give it to me. I don't want to step up into the spotlight. And oh, by the way, don't put me on the spot. And please don't make it go around in a sequential order. I don't even know how you would frame that. Caverna says, there was this time when I was running sandbox games and a guy said that he needed someone to tell him what to do. Too funny. Wayne says Edwin only wants Cthulhu in his nonfiction. So Edwin Nagy, friend of the show. I won't tell you where he works, but he plays it. He was in my Delta Green, Impossible Landscapes, and it's hilarious. He doesn't want Cthulhu in his fantasy. Laramie says, I disagree, Sean. That works for Stars and Wishes. They just don't know it's part of it. You don't have to shorten the thing that matters to the adventure. Fair enough. What is that referencing? The Stars and Wishes part? Oh, going to like stipulating like in Impossible Landscapes being part of the deal. That's true. You're right, Laramie. So he's referring to Impossible Landscapes being this element that might drone on and on and on. And if they say, hey, feedback is we don't like how it's droning on, and I say, well, that's part of the adventure. That's a shortcoming of me as a game master. I agree. I could shorten it. Nelson, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Hope all is well. Nelson says, online game. Guy came to the session drunk, then fell asleep and started snoring. I guess the game wasn't exciting enough. So is that his feedback to you? Is what you're saying? Or you had feedback for him? Excuse me, feedback. Please don't show up drunk and passed out. Maybe the first one's okay, depending on how you are, but not the second one. Nubis says snoring, the passive aggressive way of giving feedback. I'm so sorry about that, Nelson. It wasn't Hobbs because he doesn't drink. But that's a good one. Wayne says, Sean, you should absolutely do a Game Master feedback version of Mean Tweets. Great shorts for YouTube. Oh, for sure. I would agree. That's a good one, Wayne. I will, moving forward. Wayne, you get full credit, buddy. If I could give you royalties, I would certainly do that. As a matter of fact, I think last week I made $3. So, I'll throw you like 30 cents, 10%, right? We'll go forward. If you have mean tweets or you see mean tweets, I wish I could have the person that it's directed towards read them. But I will read them, or I'll get somebody else to read them. Like, it would be funny, like, if one of you guys read it, even if it wasn't for you. So here's the deal. I would love to include a segment like that. Like some weird, not some long, like Happy Jacks. I love Happy Jacks. It's a great podcast. Go listen to them. Go watch their actual plays. The core of their podcast has always been like long write-ins of emails of these weird, strange RPG horror stories. And some of them are really terrible. Some of them are like, oh my God. It's very interesting, right? It's like not looking for that is what I'm trying to say. But if you have or come across a tweet or something like that, I don't even care if it's made up, honestly. I would just it's the celebrities that read mean tweets, they're so deadpan because they're like, Sean, your YouTube channel sucks, and it's like spelled like SUKS, and then go eat a bag of dicks, and then they would just look up and go, thank you. So yeah, I would definitely do a segment on the live stream. If you do a video, if you do it, it can't be audio because it's just lost in audio. But if you take your phone and you like record yourself reading a tweet or reading something that's like mean feedback or unusual feedback, and you send it to me. So sending video can be kind of obnoxious via email, but if you have it on a drive that's shareable and you send me a link to it, I will include it. I will try my best to include it in the stream. I've done audio and plugged it in. I don't know how well I can do video, but I will definitely do that. I think that would be hilarious. And whether I put it into shorts or not, that's a whole nother ballgame, but that would be great. Thank you, Wayne. Good suggestion. I think one of the odder requests, Chris S. says, I've gotten at the end of a session was could we take more breaks so they could use the bathroom? I used to forget to stop running the game once I started. I don't think that's too bad. I do that too. I'd be at a con, I'd be like 3 hours in and never a break. People would just get up and leave. And then he says, but I was confused because they could have just gotten up and gone whenever they wanted. Well, see, you didn't establish that. That's the problem, right? Should I? Can we just go to the bathroom? I don't know. Adults trying to figure out life. I have to go to the bathroom really bad. Should I just get up and go? I don't know. Laramie says, I run my games pretty late. A lot of parents. One night, my buddy Greg fell asleep. Piker says, I'll be right back. 30 seconds later, Greg starts to wake up, startles awake. It does say, Greg startles awake from someone pounding on his window. Oh, you mentioned this before. And that's how the group found out Greg and Piker are neighbors. Yeah, I remember you putting that in the Discord. That's hilarious. Hold on a second. I'm going to go wake him up. It would have been more hilarious if his video was on, like you were doing it virtual, and you walked into his house, into the scene, and woke him up, and then he walked out and back over to his own camera in his own house. Larry Hollis, good morning. Chris or Orcus Dorcas says, I was told once I over-explained how to play a game, and my cadence and talk was like Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange. My ego, of course, only heard, you are like Doctor Strange. Oh, that's cool. No, that's a bad thing. We're telling you something bad. Oh, yeah, don't do that anymore. Oh, okay. Laramie says, my game hole games, I have a break around halfway to use the toilet or get a snack. If I tell people if they're too polite to leave, now is the time to run. You got to stay that up front at a con game. Like, there's subtle nuances at con games. Like, all right, if you need to go to the bathroom, just get up and leave. Or don't get up and leave. If you can help it, I'll have set bathroom breaks. Set the expectations properly, would you? All right, let's get into some other stuff. Thank you for sharing those tales. I don't have one. If I do, here's probably mine. If somebody's giving me feedback that I didn't like or I thought was strange or unusual, I probably can't remember it because I repress it. 16 views on X. Hey, what's up, everybody? There's like 2 people there, I think. It's funny. Anyways, is that a new safety tool, an X card, and a bio break at the table? Says Larry House. I would say yes. All right, let's get into some other RPG stuff. Again, thanks for sharing. And if you get if you get unusual, so here's the thing: you got to ask for feedback. Stars and wishes are invaluable. Even if you just do wishes, the stars is kind of like a lot of praise. Hey, I really liked how Wayne did that. I think it's good. I don't think it's bad. But the wishes part is really valuable because it's a feedback mechanism that you can change within the game. I wish I got more spotlight time. Note to self, give Jack or Jane more spotlight time. The mighty Augie is here and chewing on my clothes. So I must adjust. All right, let's see what we got. I do have a main topic kind of thing that I might want to bring up, but I don't know because it could be. We'll see. If we get there, we get there. I don't know. Let me see. Okay. I'm going to. All right. Well, we got some Kickstarters I'm going to start off with that are different from the usual, if you will. Because I think they're just released, so they may not show up for another few weeks. And then there's a few people that have brought it to my attention. Oh, my movements have changed. That's fantastic. Great. I'll have to fix that later. Whoops. This is not working very well. Hold on a second. Augie, stop calling me. Things are out of control over here, folks. Bear with me. There. I think I got things squared away here. So, how am I going to pronounce this? I am bad at pronunciation sometimes. Gubat Banwa, Southeast Asian Fantasy Tactics RPG. The war drama martial arts tactics RPG set in the Sword Isles, a fantasy setting inspired by the refulgent stories of Southeast Asia. Stop clawing me, Augie. Gotta feed this guy his snack crack. Yeah. So it has a 40K goal and is funded at 53,000 currently, and still has 26 days to go. So if you're online in the YouTube chat, I've got a link to this, and I'm showing it right here, but you can't see it on X. But it's such a beautiful book. Picked up their latest PDF version before the Kickstarter dropped. Dorcas said. So check this out. I don't is it its own type of system, Dorcas? It's first edition. Sky of 1,000 worlds. Step through warrior. Will your love ever be enough? Martial arts fantasy and war drama in the Isles of Violence. Skewered and bleeding with the stories of Southeast Asia. Take on the role of the luminous Kadanganan and engage in tradition, love, and violence. Well, I think they had me at violence. Tactical martial arts fantasy RPG. It'd be interesting to see how they tackle martial arts. It's always been like a weird thing to try to capture. I don't know. I don't. Hey, you all right over there? Sneezing fit by Og. I don't know a ton of different RPGs that are martial arts and how they handle it. If some are really, really good at handling it, I think it's always been a kind of a shortcoming. Hard to capture that in some games. Accidental Rob, good to see you sneaking in here. Needs more violence. One more violence? There's another violence. Your only recourse is violence until glory. At least let's just do something on it. I'm gonna try something here. Control F. That is not the right browser. Here. Control F. Violence. 8. Violence is mentioned on this page 8 times. I think it could use more violence, to Rob's point. It seems that there's a lot of content on here and only having it listed 8 times. I don't know. Missed opportunity, I would say. Tactics and drama, you are I cannot say that word. Kudunganan, a warrior guided by the Umalagad through the world. Apologize, I cannot say some of these words. They are the arbiter of your fate, and you are a warrior larger than life itself. Your intricate, complex relationships will play out in the political game of debts and bonds. A son kills his father for defecting to the enemy nation. A daughter flees to the mountains to escape the expectations of an unfair system. In the eye of a storm on a mountain's peak, best friends duel as ideology drives them against each other. Looks like literally a pretty book for sure. Check it out if you would be so kind. It's their first Kickstarter they've made. And they've backed 2. It's very cool. Very cool, man. It's very cool. Thousand Islands OSR zine. Oh, it's related to that group. Interesting, Wayne said. Good to know. 8 violences? Not too bad. Well, there's that. Let's see. This I thought was hilarious. I hope you find it hilarious too. Hold on a second. Let me see. That is not what I wanted to bring up. No. So I saw this on Twitter. I follow Edge Studios. I don't follow a lot because I'm always interested in midnight if they come out with anything. So I got this alert. And on Twitter it says, after a long wait. So Edge Studios took over all the role-playing games from Fantasy Flight Games because they're all part of Asmodee. And Asmodee said, hey, Edge Studios, you do the RPGs. Fantasy Flight Games, you do other things like board games. So Edge Studios has done Midnight. They do L5R RPG. They do the Twilight Imperium RPG, Genesis. So in this tweet it says, after a long wait, we are finally able to announce that the Genesis Dice Pack will be back in stores very soon. Actually, they are even already back in some countries. You can check all the dates per country in the visual below. Sorry for the wait, and thank you for your patience. And then it has a picture of the dice back in stores and the Genesis logo, if you can't see it on Twitter. And then it's got the image of Canada already available. There you go, Canada. France, it's coming November 3rd. Nordics, already available. Poland, 10/20. Spain, 10/13. UK, 10/27. USA, 10/27. Other European countries, 10/20. So the reason I think this is hilarious is you put out a game with proprietary dice and then you run out of the dice and then you don't have any to sell to people that want to play your game. Like literally the first comment on Twitter is, excellent news. I have a few players in need of dice and they'll be thrilled to finally get hands on some. The app is cool and all, but nothing beats actually rolling. So there is the app. I'll give them that for sure. So then it went into like, great, when are the Star Wars RPG starter boxes coming? Will the Star Wars dice be reprinted? Will the Star Wars books get reprinted? Oh man, I was just like, RPG publishing fail. Yeah. FFG Star Wars comes off as incredibly mismanaged. I think it was okay when Fantasy Flight had it. They put out their books and it was great, and then they ran out of some of them that were really good and probably sold, and then they had a decent amount of stock. Like, you could still find Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars books because they must have printed the snot out of them. But I think Edges, I don't know what the deal is with them. Like, their midnight setting, and like Midnight's I thought was a good campaign setting. I was a fan of it. Am a fan of it. And no word of it. And then all of a sudden, hey, we're releasing a Midnight book. And the only way that you found out is like one tweet. Like, it was, unless you tuned in and you saw it or somebody retweeted it, like, you would never know. And their website was not functioning for the longest time. Like, hey, we moved all our RPGs over to edge.net or whatever, edge-studios.net or whatever their web address is. And it was like pictures of some of the properties, and that was it. Like, pictures, splash pages, and like nothing. Like, home of Star Wars L5R, and no info. It was like, what in the hell are they doing? Accidental Rob says my FLGS still has some on the shelf, if I remember correctly. Newt says, yeah, fair. Not sure when the dice drought happened, but that's been going on for a long while. Well, right. I don't either. First FFG dice weren't for me. That's okay. But if my group is playing a game and I can't get the dice, yeah, I don't care about your app. I'm just going to sit this one out and wait for the next game for sure. Oh, Augie dropped a deuce. Hold on a second. Augie. Yeah, what are you doing? Jesus Christ, Augie. Go on. What's wrong with you? No comment. Sorry about that, guys. Orcus Dorcas, FFG Star Wars. Do you want to play as an accountant or a hot dog vendor in Star Wars universe? We have a class of that for that. Buy our books, please. We've heard it too many. The books are awesome. I don't know. I'm on the fence. I get what you're saying. They're like, every book has something new. That's how they get you, as my dad would say. That's how they get you. Accidental Rob says, I wonder if the dice problem is further supply chain bullshittery that we've been seeing everywhere for the last 3 or 4 years. Probably something to that effect, but still, like, does it take that long? I don't know. Laramie says, Rob probably started that way, but I feel like everyone else has kind of made it out of the way, the other side. And we'll never know. Just blame it on logistics. That should be the motto of 2023. Just blame it on supply chain. Just blame it on supply chain. They'll be fine. It's like a trend. Trending. Blame it on supply chain. Blame it on the chain. Yeah, yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny. Hee hee. Hey. You know what you don't have a problem with when it comes to RPGs? When they use normal dice? Finding normal dice. Unless, of course, like, what if Chessex all of a sudden just couldn't make dice? Sorry, we're out of D20s. Like, there's a D20. there's no D20s in the world. Some of us, we would not, like, we would probably make a lot of money. Oh, I don't even have my dice up here. You need some dice? Can't find them? I got a couple D20s for you. $10 each. All right, man. You got a green one? I don't have green, but I got blue and yellow. I'll take a couple yellows. You got a couple yellows? Yeah, man. But those are going to cost you like 25 each. That's cool, man. Give them to me. Well, it may still be Brexit. Hey-oh! But Against the Dark Master still can't affordably get books into England. Wow. Really? Interesting. Caverna, you just need D6s. Yeah. Laramie Chess X could fold today, and there are enough other places it would be a speed bump. Maybe. Accidental Rob, some guy standing in a dark alley with a trench coat, D20s hanging all over the inside of his coat. Hey, man. You a gamer? It's got to be right around the corner from the FLGS, though. Psst, hey, before you go in there, you looking for some dice? Yeah, I'm with you, William. It's probably a combination of things. But still, like, you have a game and you can't, like, how frustrating can it be with, like, wow, we've been playing Genesis for like a year with one set of dice that we just pass around the table. Yikes. Oh, man, my move transitions changed. Darn it. Stupid OBS upgrade. Fever Swamp Kickstarter. Somebody posted this in the Discord. I don't remember who it was. Could have been Nubis. I know Nubis has posted one of these. The seminal OSR D&D adventure by Luke Gearing finally returns to print with a new and updated edition. Fever Swamp. It had a goal of like $3,600. It is funded at $11,000. It has 19 days to go. Does anybody have the original Fever Swamp? I have not heard of this until now. It's because of the U-boats. Yeah, I was right. It was Nubis. I have one person on X. That's cool. Is that Wayne? Probably Wayne. Doesn't say. I've had a total of 20 viewers. Wow, that's crazy. Get out of there. Fever Swamp. They got the fever. I got the fever, swamp fever. Fever? When you sloshing. Fever when you slosh me tight. I don't know. I get nothing. It's not my best attempt. Fever? Fever when you swamp me. Fever when you hold me tight. The air is moist. The moisture mixes with your sweat. The beat is relentless. The drone of insects gives you headaches, and the fever from the infected wounds has left you delirious. Your raft is damaged, and there are spirits in the trees. You've only been here for 3 days. I call that camping. After years of slumber, the Emmy award-winning, which I did not know, classic D&D hex crawl adventure Fever Swamp is coming back to print. So Luke has done Gradient Descent, Acid Death Fantasy, and The Isle. And Andrew Walter, Franz of Benevolence, Slipgate Choke Point, and Dolmenwood have returned to make the swamp bigger, better, and damper than it's ever been. At least they didn't say moister. More moisture. Features 15 hex map locations, 2 full dungeon locations, 1 base town, the rotten, cult-ridden town of Clink, a mobile map feature, the Corpse Pile, 6 isolated swamp clans to meet with their own customs and peculiarities, almost 20 new monsters to find and get eaten by, riverboat rules of OD&D to facilitate travel, leaks, sinking, and fighting from on board, sickness and infection, 6 horrible swamp witches, and a miasma dank. Don't know, whatever. New things in the new edition. Might be something to check out, you Hex fans. Fever Swamp is a classic. You got it, Hobbsy? We'll back Fever Swamp hard. I've threatened to run a West Marches thing using the first one several times. Well, that's a good point, too. That's thinking. Fever, when you swamp me. Fever, when you hold me tight. Cool. There you go. Check out that. Some Kickstarter love. Here's another Kickstarter. Fearful Ends. 'Tis the season for some horror. La 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 la. Fearful Ends is a rules-light role-playing system for horror-themed games that puts players in control of their inevitable doom. 3,000 pledged to 10K. Ooh, this is going to be tough. 17 days to go. Yeah, they got a big uphill climb to get to there. I wonder why. Like, is it just not getting a horror RPG about existential tragedy? Paul, it's Paul's first Kickstarter, but he's back 22. So, Fearful Ends rulebook mock-up. Are you ready to explore the darkest corners of your imagination? Fearful Ends is a rules-light, story-centric role-playing system designed to deliver heart-pounding horror experiences. It's a game that doesn't just focus on the external monsters that lurk in the shadows, but also on the internal. Well, that seems like what's that about? But also on the internal struggles and emotional turmoil that come with facing the unknown. I have a sneeze coming on. Oh. Pardonnez-moi. Nuba says, Fearful Ends is interesting. I need to take a better look at it. Accidental Rob says, since I started running Delta Green, I've been learning how fun horror can be in games. I'm with you, Rob. I am not a horror guy. Like, I'm not hip on watching horror movies or reading horror books. But I gotta say, Sean knows all about threatening a hex girl. Yeah, that's true. Do I? I don't know. I do think like horror is an interesting genre in the RPG space. I do find it interesting. Cthulhu. I don't play enough Call of Cthulhu or read enough of that. The RPG. Some of the other ones. I don't know if I would. I probably appreciate it as a game master more than a player. Well, go and check this out from Paul. It does look kind of cool, I would say. Probably just hasn't gotten some of the traction some other things are putting out there. Mental stress cards. Fearful Ends includes a unique take on tracking and role-playing the effects of mental stress. Mental stress cards give players control over the direction and pacing of their character's mental collapse. Easy-to-read role-play prompts use plain language and avoid clinical terms to guide players to behave in ways any individual would react to severe mental stress. These cards allow your players to react to the disturbing supernatural events of your game without falling into the trap of cliche. That's kind of cool. All right. Check that out. All right. Who's excited about this stuff? Who's excited? There's some people that are just super fabulous, fantastic, excited about this one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness role-playing game is back. Oh boy. Oh my god. It's from Palladium Books. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness out of Westland, Michigan, October 13th. That was yesterday, folks. Palladium Books and Paramount Consumer Products have joined forces. whenever they say they've joined forces, I can't help but think it's like the Justice League. Like, let's join forces against this evil tyranny of of lack of consumer purchases. Join forces to reissue the ever-popular role-playing game Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness. The beloved out-of-print Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles role-playing game and its source books are sought-after collector items that have enthralled generations since its release in 1985 as one of the first licensed TMNT products. They are returning to print as 2 deluxe hardcover collections of the RPG and source books. Each is being completely remastered by industry veteran Sean Owen Roberson and presented in full color, and Kevin Eastman, co-creator of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, will also provide a new painted cover. So news to those hoarding their collector item, go and sell it right now, because it won't be worth jack after this comes out. Just saying. Or maybe it will. I don't know. Whenever I get announcements like that, I gotta unload. Gotta unload that one before it dips in the market. Re-releases. Horror on the Orient Express, anybody? Bonus material includes any array of new artwork never before seen, behind-the-scenes info and art, plus remembrances and tributes by renowned comic book and RPG creators, including Eastman, Peter Laird, Freddie E. Williams II, Stephen Cummings, Sophie Campbell, David Peterson, many more. Who is getting on in on this? Huh? Who is like, oh my God, I got so mad. Take my money. Oh, threatening West March. Don't threatening West March. I got a West Marches game for you. I'm gonna do it. I am. Accidental Robs. I don't know about this one. See ya, Eileen. I still have the original book on my shelf. I think I could play it out of nostalgia maybe once, but it's Palladium. Ugh. Caverna says, do you know what would be a good RPG game? DuckTales. That is a shot, Caverna. I am unaffected. You know why? Because if it's a game about ducks, that's fine. But it's not a game about something cool and then they throw a duck in it. Saw it after because of the art nostalgia, not the system. New art would be cool, but Palladium. Is it going to be a windfall? Kickstarter campaign launching October 31st. It's All Hallows Halloween. We'll offer a host of mind-blowing Kickstarter exclusives. Miniatures, variant book covers, prints. Yeah. Cash grab? Is it a cash grab? Is it a cash grab? I didn't know Eric Wojcik was part of that. I did not know. Well, there you go. Let's see what else we got out there this fine Saturday morn. I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna open this can of worms. You guys got your Salt Heart, Saltlandia. For fans, looks good. I think it was too old for this growing up. I was too old for this growing up. 3 months later, Hobbs. You're saying you're going to do West Marches back in like January, dude. It's like October. Leave it to Hobbs. Sticking it to me. Holding me accountable. Duck Borg. Get Duck Borg if you want DuckTales, the RPG. Maybe. Dude, How to Sandbox by Bat in the Attic? Is there one? This is not This is not what I wanted to bring up. But I will go through this anyway. I think it'll be a fun exercise. All right, here we go. Over on Blue Sky. Doom 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 doom. Did you see the frightened ones? Did you see the falling bombs? Ooh. All right. Ray Winninger. Tell them what they won, Ray. So if you don't know who Ray Winninger is, he's ex-WotC alum. I can't remember the title he held there, but it was higher and bigger and cooler than mine. Not that I was part of WotC, but just title-wise. So he put this out there, and I thought it was interesting. And I think it applies. So he used to be at Wizards of the Coast. I think he oversaw the D&D brand. I don't remember his title, but he was instrumental in D&D. There you go. I believe he is no longer at WotC. So he puts this out. It says, I've read a lot of terrific D&D material recently from publishers large and small. After noticing a lot of common glitches, I compiled a list of tips to consider when editing D&D content. If you ever apply to WotC and are asking to take the editorial test, pay attention. I know you do, Hobbsy. So I thought this was kind of interesting. Now, some of this will apply strictly to D&D, maybe Pathfinder, some of the games that are a little more tactical, but I thought it was kind of hilarious because I'm like, really? There was even a comment like, people do this? First, number one, if an adventure includes boxed, so this can apply to some of these things that we run into or some of you might be writing, right? Doesn't have to be for D&D. Case in point, if an adventure includes boxed text to be read aloud to players, confirm that the boxed text focuses on the details PCs are most likely to notice when they enter the area in question. Okay. Harrigan says Winninger is the man, wrote Underground. Accidental Rob says, I have absolutely seen number one so many times. Okay, here we go. Keep moving on. He continues, don't pass box text that describes a room's elaborate freezes and musty odors in detail, but neglect to mention that Orcus, the demon prince of undeath, is seated on a carpet of living flesh in the middle of the room. So some of these we could learn as game masters, just saying. The first comment right underneath that is, this is a common glitch. And somebody else says, surprisingly common. Number two, double check that all creatures physically fit in the rooms they are supposed to occupy. A single large creature entirely fills a 10 by 10 room. 3 giant spiders don't fit in a 20 by 30 room. Also, it continues, if all the doors and passageways leading into a room are only 5 foot wide, note that large creatures cannot enter or exit the room. If all the doors and passageways are 10 foot wide, huge creatures cannot enter or exit. Keith, who wrote all the monsters aren't stupid. What is it? I don't know. But he says not strictly true. They do have the option of squeezing. Definitely suboptimal though. I'd have to look up the rule because I think they can only squeeze maybe one size level down. So that might not be as clear cut as Keith thinks. I don't know. But anyways. Number 3, there's other comments, but nonetheless, double check that any maps included with the adventure are keyed correctly. Do this after the cartographer completes the finished maps. How many maps have we run into where it's like, at number 4, it's keyed. I go to look, and it's not the right room? What? And then there's no errata. What? Oh, Reddit. Okay, this is what it's supposed to be. Ha ha ha. Nubis, I describe rooms that way on purpose sometimes, kind of commonly. It can be held to help build suspense, especially now that my players know I'm full of shit. You also see players. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Yep, the large creatures encountered with no way in or out of the room is so common. I get rid of all this crap when I run a dungeon. Number 4. After the cartographer completes the final maps, double check that there are passageways leading into out of every area. Designers sometimes forget to place a door or a stairway. Labyrinth dungeon maps sometimes inadvertently feature corridors that are impossible to enter. Dude, who's making this stuff? You guys? Not you guys. Number 5. Strength is an ability, not a characteristic or an attribute. Ability and ability score are not synonymous. Wisdom is an ability. 15 is an ability score. Semantics. You know what I'm talking about. No, I don't. Number 6. In D&D, there is no such thing as a skill check, just ability checks. Make an athletics skill check and make an athletics check are both incorrect. The proper phrasing is make a strength athletics ability check or make a strength athletics check. I feel attacked. I think Ray's talking to me. Well, I don't know, Ray. Maybe if it weren't just so wacky, we wouldn't make up our own stuff. Number 7. The D in the name of a die is always lowercase. 3D6 is correct. 3D6 is incorrect. Now, in defense of Ray, he's talking about folks that are going to be passing the editorial piece for publishing to WotC. So some of these are standards is what he's referring to. So I get it. Now that he mentions the D thing. I'm like, really? But if you're adhering to a standard, you kind of have to know the deal. Although, do they have these standards? I hope so. I don't know. Public? Number 8. Scrutinize oddball difficulty classes. D&D uses DCs of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 for most ability checks. Notice he said ability. Non-standard DCs aren't necessarily out of bounds, but they shouldn't be employed arbitrarily, only when there's a compelling reason to do so. Accidental Rob, why use many word when few do trick? Understood. Anyone standing on the deck of the ship must pass a DC 10 dexterity ability check at the beginning of each round or fall prone. Ability checks are almost always voluntary and usually require an action. Is that right then? That's correct, right? That's an example of being correct? Because it is tipping, so in order to take an action from not falling, I will do a dexterity ability check. Right? I cut and pasted this from an adventure without commenting on another gaffe. 5e doesn't really use rounds in this way. Oh, dexterity ability check at the beginning of each round or fall prone. I got it. Okay. Oh, man. Dude. Some of this is kind of probably why some people are like, I don't want to, this is not me. This is not my game. Better, here's the better way to phrase it. All creatures standing on the deck of the ship must pass a DC 10 dexterity saving throw at the beginning of their turns or fall prone. It's differentiating saves from checks. Fair. But the involuntary rolls meant to resist or overcome a consequence, like this example, should be saving throws, to Harrigan's point. Ugh. 10. Like Ray knows the deal. I'm just like, number 10, he says, it's almost always a good idea to begin a short adventure or each chapter of a longer adventure with a concise summary outlining the various ways the action might unfold. Okay. That could be applied to anything, right? Don't bury important information that drives the action, like the antagonist's key objectives and motivation in an encounter description. Number 11. Pay attention to the languages spoken by creatures appearing in encounters that call for character interaction. Lizard folk speak only Draconic, so it's unlikely they can negotiate in typical PCs or with typical PCs or provide the PCs with important information. I asked for the leader. Blah, 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 blah. They look at you confused. Do you speak Draconic? I do. Do they know? Do you know that they speak Draconic? Draconic, whatever. Number 12. Text that assumes the PCs pursue a particular course of action. After the party agrees to undertake the Burgermeister's quest, often points to a deficiency in the adventure. What happens if the party doesn't agree to undertake the Burgermeister's quest? So should it be assumed if the party agrees, right? Okay. In which case it would be after. Number 13 is why I don't play 5e. Well, one of the reasons. Somebody's getting ahead. 13. Assume third level player characters have access to invisibility. Assume 5th level PCs have access to flight. Does access to these capabilities spoil or seriously undermine the adventure? I'm not sure. Like, should it? I don't know. Maybe? Ryan says the only reason I have to all of this is anyone who would create an index in a book and put see this category instead rather than put the page number needs to be set on fire. Cough. 5e 5th edition. Yes, mega dungeons are often nonsensical. Yes. Solhard says playing 5e tonight and have developed a really cool hippodrome race and sub-rules. Should be fun, unless the PCs decide not to race chariots. Quite possible. So if you are phrasing that correctly, Kevin, then it would be if the players decide to race the chariots, if common abilities ruin a scenario, you're playing the wrong game. No plan survives exposure to your players. Bingo. Number 14, the stakes of the adventure must be appropriate to the level of PCs. Gods, demon lords, and interdimensional magic orders are unlikely to enlist a group of first-level PCs to undertake a quest. Strong words. Now this is 5e. Okay? So, balance, baby. Is that what that is? Balance? What if they're chosen? Come on. How many prophets in our past have been level 1 stooges? Or level 10? Come on. Let's be honest out there. I want a simulationist real life game. First level PCs can encounter an angel or a god. Damn it. Because why not? It happens in real life. Just ask my neighbor down the street. 15. The Duchess has a map leading to the ruined castle. Be specific. Where is the map? On her person? In a drawer in her quarters? That's true. Orcus Dorcas is my god. I see tweets like this and my ADHD kicks on my number 10 on my number 10. Just posted on a blog, Ray. Accidental Rob. Number 15 like Skyrim. She just pulls the map out of her butt. Number 16. Make sure monsters and NPCs make appropriate use of any magic items in their treasure hoards. Why isn't the necromancer wearing that +1 ring of protection the PCs will find in his nightstand? Ooh, Ray. You do know some TSR modules, right, Ray? Like, right? Am I right? All right. Where did they grab that from? So hilarious. 17. Double checking stat blocks is a lengthy topic unto itself. Begin by making sure the listed average hit points are correct. Okay. But if they're wrong, are they wrong intentionally? I don't know. Maybe this troll has double the amount of hit points than a monster manual. Well, that's the thing. As a consumer, would I know that? I don't know. And then he goes into the average rolls, and that is it. He goes up to 17 and stops. Thanks, Ray. He stopped at 17. I'm pretty sure he stopped at 17. I think at the beginning he says 17. I've read a lot of terrific D&D material recently from publishers. Compiled a list of 17 tips. No, it's not there. Just kidding. Why not 20? Top 20. Good times. Folks are twitching. So interesting. Keep it in mind. Oh, Harrigan, what are you doing? Even the logo didn't have the capital D. There you go. Thanks, Ray. Now, everybody out there, start reading. Start doing some WotC adventure designing. All right? Ready to learn the art of game crafting? Maybe. Are you playing RPGs? Do you like crafting your own? Then you should learn the art of game crafting. Did I bring this up last week? I don't think so. Aloy? No, I did, didn't I? Aloy Lasanta is the owner of Third Eye Games, the designer and instructor behind the art of game crafting for your classroom, boardroom, or game night. Did I put this in? 1 week ago. I did put it in last week. My bad. Go check out Aloy's freaking class. Okay. I think I mentioned this last week, now that I think about it. Did I? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Link below. Let's see. Okay, yep. Now I know where I started. Let's see. This one I think is something that Why is it? Okay. You guys getting on this? Paris Gondo, The Life-Saving Magic of Inventorying by the Rollistas and Kaloum. I told him I'd put it out today. An individual from the Rollistas. A role-playing game to declutter your loot and banish encumbrance encumbrance forever. So on Blue Sky, I was like, hey, what's everybody playing? And somebody's like, I'm playing this and a little of that. And they mentioned this game. And it was the gentleman from the Rollistas who is actually like, I'm willing to run it. If you're interested, let me know. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Thanks for the offer. So I will mention this on stream on Saturday. And he's like, that's great. It's a unique play-based method to keep your adventures fulfilled until the end of their days. So I don't know much more about it than this. You can get notified on launch just to check it out. I think he might have mentioned a little bit more in detail when we were going back and forth, and I apologize for not bringing that up and sharing it. But this is coming, and it has 306 followers. I don't know what the level is or what more it is about, but nonetheless, you want to check it out when it comes out. Okay, just shout out. I'll check it out. No, I don't have notify me on launch. There. Yay. The Rollistas might be playing it. I don't know. There's the actual play stream type thing. What is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? Oh, that's Roy. Yeah, we don't want to rehash that. No, you don't want to see that either. Don't look behind this curtain. Print news? You guys know what's coming out in print? The Rollists. Is that what it is? The Rollists? There you go. Thanks, Wayne. Sorry. A Rollista. Run jailbreak for unknown armies for them. Should be fun. Curious for any details about that inventory game. Me too. Our Ian World print news. Some of the things that are in print that we are aware of through Ian World. I'm sure there's more out there. Hearn World 40th anniversary limited edition. This was brought up some time ago. 75 bones. Heron's the whole Heron thing. The world has always been highly recognized as a great setting. I don't know much about it. I know it's been around forever. I don't know, 40 years. 40th anniversary limited deluxe edition classic fantasy role-playing setting filled with medieval detail. World's built to be realistic, flexible, and system neutral. There you go. Whether the PCs, knights, or mages. Once there was a time. Knights, maidens. I can't remember the song. Crash Test Dummies, you Canadians. Basic role-playing universal game engine by Chaosium. 50 bones. Call of Cthulhu, RuneQuest, Pendragon, Rivers of London. That's the percentile based, right? Roll under. Can get it now. It is available royalty-free for personal and commercial use under the ORC license. Simbarum. Davacor Awakens. $40. The PCs have the chance to impact the fight for the Throne of Thorns and the future of the world. Features maps and descriptions of a dozen adventure locations. It's the sixth and final episode in the Chronicle of Chronicle of the Throne of Thorns. There's a lot of th in there. Chronicle of Throne of Thorns. Summoning Hoos. It's still early up on the West Coast. I'm sure he's got it. He's got all of it. Seeker's Guide to Twisted Taverns by Ghostfire Gaming, big 5th edition house. Ghostfire is. Hardcover supplement, 50 bones. Collection of taverns. The Dragon's Horde, issue 33 and 34 by Legendary Games. 5th edition softcover supplements. Campfire Carnage, Synthetic Dream Machine. Eternal Return Key, Chromodemon version. Graves and Grows, limited edition cover. All by Exalted Funeral. Systems are Squishy, Ultraviolet Grasslands, and the Black City, and Dungeon Crawl Classics. You can get all 3 of those, $22, $15, $25 US, respectively. DCC Elemental Dice Set. These are awesome. If you're playing DCC, you got to get one of these. That's just all the cool dice. D3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 percentile. D12, 14, 16, 20, 24, and 30. $30 for the tube. And then lastly, Fantasy Age Game Master's Toolkit 2nd edition by Green Ronin for 30 bones. The only thing I don't like about some of these is the D3, right? It's the D6 with the Roman numerals. Like, because everything is Arabic, right? Not Roman. Like, it just stands out. Kind of rubs me the wrong way. I don't know why. All right. What else? I don't know if I have much else. We haven't gone through the official crowdfunding. Some of them. These are some of the ones that are in the end stages. Horrors Cthulhu, tabletop role-playing game from Modiphius. That thing's going and going. Vault 5e, A Life Well Lived by Cubicle 7. 5th edition as well as 5EC. EC is making its rounds. Laramie, sorry man, you're wrong. Love the D3. I don't like it. I'm wrong. Wow, I'm wrong. I am wrong. I'm going to punch Laramie at GameCon. Just kidding. We don't need physical violence here. Fearful Ends is one I backed with card mechanics for physical injuries and fear. That was the one we brought up. You might have not been here, Salhard. I brought it up. Polyhedral B-Sides and Late Nights. Interviews with people in the TTRPG industry by HTT Paladin. Some backer kit. I'm interested to see how this is doing, because I don't know. The idea behind this book is to pull back the curtain and meet the people who create TTRPGs, not to talk about the game so much as to learn about who these creators are. I was going to say creatures. How they got into the industry and how they connect with gamers. The interview list ranges from industry insiders to indie darlings to famous gamers whose day job makes them, well, famous. 250 pages. Oh boy, here we go. $10,000 goal, $3,000 is raised. 13 days left, 14 backers. I mean, I think it's a good concept. I kind of like it to some point, but I also are like, I don't know if people care. Some do. 49 do. Like the first quote is, it's a rare gift to be able to engage with authenticity while also incisively spinning conversation that speaks to both professional and personal discussion. Paladin brings that atmosphere in their welcoming discussion that span a wide array of topics and perspectives, and this collection is as insightful as it is enjoyable. Matt Mercer, Critical Role, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. James Hake. It's kind of a cool coffee book table. Dr. Emily Friedman. Kind of looks cool, but I don't know. Whatever, Orcus Dorcas. I don't like the D3 Roman numerals, but I do understand them. I would just roll D6 anyway. I don't know. Who are they interviewing? Or are they just gathering interview quotes into a book? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. There's like these profiles are written up about the person. So they're kind of saying, hey, this is who this person is and maybe why we talked to them and captured some info. These are some of the people they talk to or talk about in the book. Connie Chang, Brian Cortijo, Emily Friedman, Dr. Emily Friedman, Masood Haque. By the way, can chiropractors without a PhD stop calling themselves doctor? Just want to put that out there. Ugh. Saw something on LinkedIn the other day that bothered me. Masood Haque, Dale Kingsmill, Jennifer Kretschmer, Lexi McQueen, Mark Muir, Ryan Omega. One of the things, now this is not, I mean, it's probably going to be a good book. It's got a lot of different people, a lot of different experiences and things that they've done. But going, like Brett used to say one thing to me, like and then it's probably not that target audience. Like his kids are not the target audience for a book like this. They're just not going to care. And I think that's the thing. Is like when did we know who was who in the industry? Now it's different with social media, but growing up, I didn't know who Monty Cook was. Gary Gygax, because he had his name on half the books I probably bought, but in Jeff Grubb maybe and a couple others, but I don't know. Mike Carr, I think the names that stood out was because like they were always, Open a Dragon magazine, and at the bottom was like Mike Carr, or was it Mike? I think, right? The editor for a while. Shoot, there was another one that was like always stuck out in my brain. I don't know. Anyone viewing the eclipse? Harrigan, maybe? Is there an eclipse right now? Go check it out. You'll never see it in another 1,000 years. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Is it a coffee table book that folds out into a coffee table? No, it isn't, Nubis. So, it's not one of those. See you, Laramie. Yeah, I think this qualifies as I'm not the target audience. Orcus Dorcas says, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The Eye of Everywhere from Alan Tucker, 5e and Pathfinder. Funded. 2,000 goal. Mr. Vampire from Chamomile as a project. Fate. Look at that, a Fate one. We don't see Fate on here often. Fate. Core rulebook. Because it's a Fate role-playing game and it's vampire-centric, I want to check this out. Egg probably wrote this article, so Embry. I want to check this out. Mr. Vampire makes you a creature of the night as you play supernatural politics among the cults of New Orleans. The game's mechanics center of the political struggles of taking and holding power. There you go. $500 goal. It's funded. D&D one shot in the 100-acre wood. 5th edition. Incursion, a menage a trois. Oh, wow. Between espionage, madness, and outer darkness. Piqued my curiosity. $65 for PDF print versions of the book as well as ebook. So some of this kind of sounded cool, and then I think there's magic in it, which kind of like, cybernetic powers. That's what it was. Inside your character is a hidden technology that you're only aware of when it's turned on. Well, for me, it probably is on all the time. Hashtag creepy. When it is activated, you remember what you are, your cybernetic powers, and what you're fighting against. This game combines espionage, madness, and outer darkness to give you something different. During your downtime, you're normal. You forget this world. When you're active, or turned on, active, you have to save the world. You have to. You're active. You now have to save the world. Oh, okay. With elements similar to DC's Hero Dial and Global Frequency, as well as original concepts, this world is based on Jim Gillian's writings, of which you get a sample via this campaign. You will find a world that needs a hero. I need a hero. And you've been selected for the task. If an original system and setting speak to you, check this out. It's funded. Just got funded. It's got 6 days to go as of this recording, October 14th, 2023, in the year of our Lord. You guys are talking about the weather. How do you say I am not interested in what Sean's talking about without saying I'm not interested in what Sean's talking about? Oh, bird. Ooh, storm front. Guys. Oh, too funny. You guys are keeping me on my toes. Oh, and Murder Hobo. Oh, now you're just doing this. All right, Eldritch Defenders. We brought this up a while ago. Adversarial system. Nothing like an RPG mechanic system called the adversarial system. It's funded. Check that out. Level Up Advanced 5th edition starter box. Anybody give Level Up a shake? A fair shake? I don't know. 49,000 pounds sterling out of a $5,000 5,000 pound goal. Sean who? Murder Hobo, you silly monkey. I think you glazed over that 100-acre wood thing too fast. The 100, you want me to go back? I sometimes do, just because. What? This one? I'm always torn about all the 5th edition stuff. But, okay, here we go. Adventure in the 100-Acre Wood, Winnie the Pooh one-shot for D&D. From Jerry Joe Seltzer. Did not Winnie the Pooh just enter the common domain? Sounded ridiculous. This is somebody capitalizing on a property that they don't have to pay royalties for, I'm guessing. The idea of Winnie the Pooh TTRPG calls out to me. Until that is created, this adventure sounds fun. Set in the 100-Acre Wood, you'll play the marquee friends of Winnie as they deal with Hunie, I think it meant honey, and bothers. And Hunie and bothers? Am I not tuned in to this to know what they're talking about? In the United States of America, A.A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh is no longer copyright protected. Boom. Jerry Joe Seltzer has taken the opportunity to bring the 100-Acre Wood to 5e. Designed as a 10-page adventure with pre-generated characters for Pooh, Piglet, Tigger, Eeyore, Rabbit, and Roo. You'll get content for in-person as well as VTT assets for online play. If you're a fan of 5e and Winnie the Pooh, give this a look because it looks fun. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to run it at a convention. Actually, what I'm going to do, because running it at a convention, people might not sign up. So what I will do is I will put a cool game down. Not that this isn't cool. A game that people will know. And then I will whip this out on the table and say, all right, you all signed up for Delta Green, but I have something a bit of a twist here. We're going to play Winnie the Pooh, the RPG. You're welcome. What do you think? How do you think that would go over? It's well funded, $5,700 US of an $800 goal. I had a low goal. There you go. Now, come on. For kids, come on now. Delta Poo. Dude, I got to do more mashups. I got to do more mashups for con games. Like, the games that I had the most fun and were the most memorable were the kooky mashups that Michael Brown would run from Dead Game Society. Like, Murder on the Love Boat, you know, Kistastrophe. What else did I play in one of his? Oh, Sesame Street. What was it? Murder on Sesame Street. I can't remember what it was called. Something like Murder on Sesame Street or Mork Poo. Yeah. Piglet sets the woods on fire with a fireball and says, "Oh my." I gotta do more mashups. The Fatal Poo. Yeah. It's got to be Poo of Cthulhu. Come on, guys. Call it Cthulhu. Tim got it almost. I would have said Poo of Cthulhu. I would do that. I would run this one shot, 5e, Poo of Cthulhu. I would have like little figures or even hand puppets if I could find them. Although you probably can't find them anymore because nobody's going to make money off of them, right? I guess they could if they make them and put them out there. They don't have to pay royalties. Rewind and go back to the beginning. I fell asleep again. Hey, Ty. Poo of Cthulhu. And everything is like, I would probably hear the sound effects of like, I can't remember the song, you know, the morning song that's birds chirping in the background. And then the forest becomes a murder haven of Cthulhu. Join Pooh and his pals as they take on Lovecraft's finest. All right, Pooh, what do you do? Well, now that I'm insane, I guess I'll have to murder Piglet. I think this has got some legs. Jerry, your Kickstarter is a success, but you want to take it to another level. One of your stretch goals would be Poo of Cthulhu. You're damn right you would play that, Murder Hobo. Of course you would. Who wouldn't play that? Poo of Cthulhu, I'm on. Like if it was, you know, Winnie the Pooh, 5e, you know, take on the roles of some of your favorite characters in Winnie the Pooh, you know, in the adventure in the 100-Acre Wood. Of course you'd get takers. But if you make it a bloodbath and turn it up to 12, you could increase your cost of entry. I thought that the hobby would be squeezing out Pooh games after it went public and would be constipated with options, but I haven't seen any snaking out of the toilet yet. Blades in the 100-Acre Wood. Ty, I have not. Palladium Pooh with Mega Cute. Mega Cute. Wasn't there a horror movie that came out recently with Winnie the Pooh? I don't know. Sure. Winnie the Pooh. Something weird with that guy, right? Running around, no pants. Perv. Winnie's a perv. Pooh of Cthulhu. Because public domain, yeah. But there's some other ones too. Isn't Disney giving up rights to Mickey? Get public domain works like Mickey Mouse, Winnie the Pooh, some other ones. Blood and honey. Marvel heroic poo. Marvel heroic poo. That sounds like a monster dump is what that sounds like. I am 10. I have just turned 10 years old. 10. I am 10 years old. Powered by poo in the dark. Oh God. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're going down. We're going down. Going down the rabbit hole. Poo in the dark. Powered by poo in the dark. Poocalypse World. Powered by Poocalypse World. Poo Crawl Classics. Yeah, you too could create all of these knockoffs. I think Jerry, if he's listening, Jerry, you've got an empire on your hands here. Just saying. You got to branch out though. Poo Crawl Classics. Oh, the Poo Hack. You two can make poo. Roger French. That's a seminar. That's Jerry's future seminar. Jerry Joe Seltzer, call me. Call me. Call me. I'm representing the chat. We're a special interest group that will take your empire to the next level. First, we're going to start off, once you get some of these products knocked out and you become a overnight sensation, then we're going to get you on a book tour named after your seminar series called You Too Can Make Poo. Raven Poo. Bring it. Poo of the week. Let's go. Don't let me down, chat. We're giving it all away for free here. It's a little taste of what can come. The Poo Sanction, Savage Poo, right? Let's do it. Poo and Paths, Cyber Poo Red. Yeah. There you go. Delta Poo. Delta Poo. Yeah. Poo of Cthulhu. Poo Orc Borg. Poo the Forsaken. Yeah, okay, let's go. These guys are on fire. They're just drumming up all kinds of stuff. They're like a hotbed of ideas over here. Cyber Poo Unk. Going back to bed. See you, Ty. Forbidden Poo. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yes. GI Poo. Poo Lands. Poo Tint Year Zero. Yeah. Simber Poo. Old School Poo. Yeah. Or is it old Poo Essentials? Old Poo Essentials. Come on, Wayne. Wayne almost got there. Old Poo Essentials. Yep. What else? Got it? Against the Dark Poo. Come on, we got him. Poo without numbers. That's a no-brainer. Rob, you open this can of worms, man. Accidental Rob, ladies and gentlemen. He will be my vice chair on this. Poo Runner. Yep, for sure. The World of the Walking Poo. Let's see, Strongholds and Poo. It's got a few over there. Let's see. Index Poo, the RPG. Poo Lock. Poo Wars. Star Poo. Monty Cook's Poolas. The city by the Poo by the Spire. Gamma Poo. Yeah, gotta have Gamma Poo. Star Poo. Poo Frontiers. What else? the one Poo. Poo Borg. Yeah. The one Poo. Come on. Just Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Jerry. I think I blame this all on Jerry, actually. Jerry Joe Seltzer. Death and Pooh. Yeah, yeah, of course. Band of Pooh. Yeah, for sure. The dark of Hot Pooh Island. Tales from the Pooh. Everyone is Pooh. Yeah, right. What else we got? Pooh and Sorcery. The Pooh Files. Easy D Pooh. Right. Yes. Blades in the Pooh. Pooh Trek. Pooh Trek. Yep. Let's see. Into the Pooh. Did somebody say Into the Pooh? Yeah, and that's how I never got any more followers. And that was, 5 years ago. Old school Pooh Essentials. Yeah. Yep, for sure. Dolman Pooh. Pooh the Masquerade. Pooh Accelerated, sponsored by Taco Bell. Pooh Accelerated. Yes. Yeah, yeah. Eeyore Borg. Oh, Tad throwing us up for a hitch. Throwing us for a loop and a hitch. Simba Pooh. Imagine all the Pooh Zero Engine games. Yeah. Yep. Get it all right. That's right, there again. Get out all the Pooh. Tai Pooh. Too funny. Yeah. Right. Yes. Yeah. Yep. That's for sure. 100 acre woods. Yes. Yeah. Well, we're right at the end of the hour. Things get totally out of hand. Get the Pooh out. That's right. That's right. It's all come down to this, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you poo-poo these RPGs. Or do poo-poo those RPGs. I don't want to poo-poo your RPG, but it might be worth it. Do vampires poo? 1,000-year-old poo? Pooh the Masquerade? My goodness. My goodness. Yeah, baby. Against the Pooh Master. Call a Cthulhu. Call a Cthulhu? Cthulhu? Yeah, we already said that one. How to Pooh. War Pooh. Fantasy War Pooh. Fantasy War Pooh. Pooh Secret. Right. We still got it trickling out. We still got Pooh. We still got Pooh to put out there. Yeah. Pooh Secret and Pooh Secret SI. Yeah, for sure. Battle Pooh. Teenage Mutant Pooh. Teenage Pooh Turtles. Changing the thumbs down. And you know what? I understand. Pooh Hammer 40K. Yeah. It's gone that well today. Well, we just gave Sean at least 100 YT shorts. You're welcome. Ultraviolet Pooh Lands. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and I just got to edit all of them. In the grim darkness of the 100 Acres woods, there is only poo. You know, there's one we missed. We've missed. A good one. It's one that's going to put it over the edge. I'm just waiting for it to drop. See what I did there? Just waiting for that one poo game to drop. I regret nothing. Rob. Accidental Rob from Accidental Survivors podcast. I'm sure the archive's out there. Go listen to it. You can blame him. You can find him at Accidental Rob. Chat is steaming today. Oh, yeah, it's jumped the shark now. We're there. We have gone over the edge. That's right. That is right. Basic and poo. Basic poo playing. Poo role playing. Oh, I see what you did there. Adrian L. Oh, you joined way at the wrong time. If you rewind this maybe a good, probably 5 minutes at least. This episode may not be the best ever, but it's a solid number 2. M. Catron, that guy, witty. I still game with Chris and Fraser. Nice. Of Swords Edge Publishing. Hey, what are you drinking over there, Chris? I've got this crazy stout whiskey butter hop scotch. I don't know if you guys drinking, comparing your brews at the time. Legend of the Five Poos. There's one. There was one we were waiting for. More than 5 minutes, Sean. Harrigan has so many games himself. He is withholding. Hey, man, you holding? He's holding. Drink check. That's what it was. Drink check. This is Augie's moment. By the way, when I had to go over there, for Augie, guess what was on the floor? Poo. That's right. I'm like, oh, I dropped a deuce on my floor again. Oh, I joined to talk about RPGs. This guy keeps talking about his cat and poo. Never start at the end of this show. Never start at the beginning. Poo. Yeah. Yep. Winnie the Pooh is what we're talking about if you've just joined at this last minute. Winnie the Pooh, public domain. Only these niblets are getting corny. Grab a plunger. Oof. This whole show's gone down the toilet. Pooh Finder. Pooh Finder. Is that Pooh Finder 1E or 2E? Hey-oh. 2E. Pooh Finder 2E. What's an RPG? I came here to talk about cat feces and beer. Right. That guy. Ryan, did you put that in the comments? This is stupid. God help you if you join late. Indeed. Indeed. That's why you guys are at the core. You guys are at the core of this show. Nobody else gets it. Nobody else gets me. You get me. And I get, right? If you joined at all. Yes. Now I have to go back and edit this and go fast forward to here. Wait till I put in the timestamp. Poo talk. What? Click. Oh, shit. Ah! Pooh Finder 2E. Yeah, Star Pooh. Star Pooh's a lot of them, though. A lot of them. Hard to distinguish them. Alice's Pooh. If you joined it all. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. I don't know. The Fall of Pooh. The Fall of Pooh Green. Night's Black Pooh. You're welcome. Night's Black Pooh. Swords of the Poopantine. I'm not done. We're not done. Poo Hammer. Poo Jammer. Yeah, we're not done. We are not done. Oh, poo. Sorry, just stop. Won't stop coming out. Yep. You're all the best. Gotta go. See you, Tad. Well, there goes Tad. He's had enough. I'm just talking to myself at this point. We're not done. We're not done. Poo Jammer. That's right. Yeah. Set in the Forgotten Poo. Lamentations of the Flame Poo. Booyah! Caverna. Lamentations of the Flame Poo. Oh, I think that one takes one. I think that one's going to be hard to top, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's going to be hard to top. Thank you guys. Hey, if the stream sucked all the way up until Poo Talk, I'm good with that. I'm good with it. I'd go with Poo Princess. Yeah. Right. I would too. Come on, you're not even trying now. That should be Lamentations of the Poo Princess. Yes. They're accidental Rob and Harrigan spelling it all out. Of the Poo Princess. Too funny. Lamentations of the Poo Princess. I know. Well, that's Gamehole Con. Yeah, I suppose. Segue. A lot of people aren't in the chat going to be at Gamehole Con. I should also stipulate, though, so being today, 1 week from Gamehole Con locally, I probably won't stream. The main reason is I think Saturday I have a game in the morning, so I can't literally stream during this time. So I will post it in the Discord. I don't know where I'll put it out on Twitter. I'll put it out in the community post here on YouTube to say, hey, no stream on Saturday. I might try to make it up. I don't know. We'll see. I could probably try streaming from the con, but I don't know how good their internet is. It seems to get pounded pretty well. BSRCon 3 is coming shortly. November 1st is like badge registration and event submission. That is not far away, ladies, gentlemen. Literally like 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks away from this recording. So we'd love to see you. BSRCon is a virtual online it's a virtual online convention. Kind of run through Discord. It's on tabletop events. I will put it in a community post here, but it's also posted on our Discord. We've had as much as like 50 different events. I donate half. It's like $10 all inclusive, and I donate half the proceeds. So I think I've donated like about 1,000. We collectively have donated $1,000 to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society here in the U.S. battling blood cancers. So if you're interested, check that out. Otherwise, Gamehole Con next week, I will be deep in gaming. I think I'm not running a single game on the grid. I may run War Stories off grid. I was going to probably run Feng Shui 2 as well, but I don't know if I'm going to be prepared to do that in time. I've also thought about Hyperspace D6 too, but I don't know. Maybe if I jot some notes down, I could play that. Might even be able to do character creation at the table for that one. Just stream the game. Maybe. So the Alliant Energy Center, where the venue is, has like free internet, and it's just enough so you don't have to use data. To get any decent like speed, you have to pay for it, which isn't terrible. Maybe it's $20 a day, so it's not like, I could, but that's also, I pay $20. Oh, and it still sucks. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe if I stream the game, then I got to make sure everybody's like good to go. And if I stream the game, the audio is going to suck because I probably won't have a mic for each person. Like it's going to be too much overhead. But great idea, Tim. Jim Jensen. Jim Tenson. Tim. Are you going to be there, Tim? I hope to see you. I imagine Willow's going to be there. I think you mentioned you might have to work, but some of you will be there. Can't wait to see you. For those of you that can't make it, totally understand. You'll be missed. And then I'll catch you on the following Saturday for sure, the 28th. If my math is correct. So, yeah. I am playing at Gamehole Con, Goonies Meets the Ghostbusters by Carl Kiesler, Savage Worlds. Carl's, if you've been on G Plus or even Instagram, he posts a lot of his pictures of his game. He's done a lot of work in the Savage Worlds space. He's been a big Savage Worlds fan. He's a big graphic designer. He's done a lot of different mashups and set pieces. His games they look fantastic, and a lot of people boast about how he runs them. So I'm in one of his games for his first journey to Gamehole Con, which is great. It'll be good to, finally meet him. I'm playing in the Simba Room game by, what's his name? Harrigan knows his name. I can't remember his name. The Simba Room game. It's a charity game. So playing Simba Room by the designer of Simba Room. So that'll be fun. And then there is a Tales from the Loop game I think I'm playing. First one. I've never played Tales from the Loop. Go figure. I think it's a 3-hour game, so it'll be relatively short. I think it's by Craig Brown, if I'm not mistaken. I might know who Craig is. I might actually know him from a different, I might have grown up with Craig way back in the day. So if it's the same Craig, we'll see. And then there's a couple others. Fall of Delta Green, I think, game, maybe. I might have been on a waiting list. I don't know if I got in that one. Gosh, I should probably look at my schedule and get it done. But basically during the day, doing that. At night, kind of free to socialize and play off-book games. So, thank you, Harrigan. Matthias Johansson Hake. I think that's pronounced Hake or Hak. So, Matthias, yeah. So, Matthias is going to run Simba Room for 4 players, and I'm in on that. Harrigan is in on that as well. And then I think that all the money for that game is being donated. So, and what else? So that's that, Gamehole Con. I am playing Star Trek and Cyborg still. So we just had like session 3, I think, of Cyborg. Two of the players died again. So Wayne, Phil, Harrigan's running. Kevin, who stops in every once in a while into the chat, and then Phil, obviously. But Phil and Kevin's guys bit the dust again, so they re-roll. The nice thing about them dying is I always get to loot their body, so my guy keeps stacking up some pretty decent wares, if you will. It's a fun game. I'm enjoying myself immensely. Star Trek, this week, we got a couple extra crew members, and then Gabe Dibbing, who I think it might still be around in the chat, we're gonna run through mission, like he mentioned last week, some missions. Very scenario based, and then we're gonna go back to the main story. Because there is a soiree. It's not secret. So if you're coming to Gamehole Con, you didn't get the memo, and you're not on our Discord or tuned in, you could stop by Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central Time at the Holiday Inn Express, the Olin Room. It's just a conference room, BYOB, and BYOB means, whether it's alcoholic or non, just bring your own, whatever you want to drink, whatever, water, people who don't drink are welcome too. Although I do get the reason why somebody may not want to show up to people that are drinking, but up to you. It's just anybody's invited. We have the guys at Gamehole were nice enough to say, hey, you can use this room, and there's not going to be any cost, so I don't need any, hey, just help me, let me know and I'll kick in some money. Nope, no worries. It's all good. Forrest Gary, who is local in Wisconsin, who does a lot of Cthulhu games, is running a game. He's like, how long are you running? Or how long is it going to be going on till? Who knows? We got it for the whole night, I imagine. So probably pretty late. And it's 8 o'clock-ish. Like, you can be fashionably late. Don't be there at like the 7:30 unless you're really bored. And by the way, by 7:30, it's probably still going to be open gaming. So, don't interrupt those guys. If you get a chance to come to Gamehole in the future, by all means, let me know. Love to see you. So, Caverna's still vying for Forbidden Land Season 2. It's not off the table. There's talks about it. So yeah, Tim, I hope you can show up. Otherwise, thank you to all of these folks who have been so nice to include Curtis Takahashi, who I have not listed on here, for helping me out a little bit. Give him a few shekels every month. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for showing up and contributing to the poo extravaganza, extravapooza, Lollapalooza, whatever. I really appreciate it. Each week, it's one of the highlights of my week is doing this just to talk to you guys and get feedback from you guys. And the thing is that you guys are like, you actually put stuff in the chat instead of just sitting back and if you're listening, that's cool too. I know you're back in the shadows as well. I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. So remember, be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. Move, create, and learn. Spend time with folks that you appreciate. May life treat you well. Take some time to yourself if you need to. Otherwise, I will see you in 2 weeks. Maybe. Or sooner. See ya.